And welcome everyone of Campaign Countdown, where we sit down with some awesome creators and talk to them all about what they've got going. Today, we're joined by creator Cody Hernandez, creator of Steel Cowboy, which is now currently on Indiegogo. And we're excited to kind of dive in a little bit and find out what issue 3 is all about and why you should find it. So, welcome.
Hi, happy
Well,
to be here.
welcome.
I was just a little bit of robot. I don't think it's on your end, so I was making sure a few things are going. But anyway, should be set. Happy to be here, folks. I'm Cody with Ironverse Comics, bringing you the best of the Weird Space West and helping to put the frontier back into the final frontier. As they're saying, we've got issue 3 on the campaign trail, and we're here to talk about it and try and get you guys on board.
Excellent, man. Well, that's really great. You've already off to a great start, obviously. And we'll take a look at the campaign page and scroll through it and whatnot. Um, yeah, so can you tell us maybe just a little about what Jack is all about, particularly issue 3?
Yeah. So I'm still getting a little bit of roboting. I'm really hoping it's not coming through from my end. But anywho,
No,
issue
right.
3, uh, uh, issue 1 and 2, last campaign, wonderful results, great reception. Um, Anywho, it's been a long day, folks. Apologies with this one. It's a little bit stumbling, and I'm still trying to work out the tech difficulties at the same time. Um, Anywho, issue 3 follows issue 1 and 2 pretty much directly off of issue 2. I really don't want to spoil too much. It involves Earth's top predator, as I've really tried to put forward, and you guys can find out what that means, who that is, and what it means to Jack if we get number 3 out there. Um, Jack Irons, if you're unfamiliar as a character, is an immortal cowboy burdened with knowledge of many past lives in a weird Western galactic apocalypse. And we're just seeing the small part of that apocalypse on Earth. But you can see what that means for him and for humanity on his journey. And that's what people got on board for with 1 and 2. And I'm hoping issue 3, I'm not just hoping. I know issue 3 is a great time to hop on and pick up 1 and 2 with wonderful variants, or just continue the journey with us with number 3. Um, did a lot of work trying to make sure that the campaign was had as many options and to apply as many lessons learned from the last one as possible. And I'm pretty damn proud of what we've put together. And I'm thinking if you folks go ahead and check it out on Indiegogo, Jack Irons, Steel Cowboy number 3, you can see it much better than really I can pitch to you, because, that's weeks of pitch instead of on the spot pitch. but, but
No, I totally get that. Yeah. And well,
yeah.
like I said, we'll be pulling up the page here so people can get a nice, good look at it
Right
as
on.
we talk on a little bit more. It's you like to call it the best of weird space western, and it really is a kind of a combination of western and kind of space sci-fi stuff. How did you
It's
kind of come to love that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm hoping to tap into that. Fans of Firefly or fans of
Mm.
any kind of. There's a few different takes on that genre. Recently, Outer Worlds has that feel. Fallout New Vegas had that feel with a little less space, and there's still aliens. Uh, uh, really, you can get those feels through Jack, but a lot of that is. I'm not going to say window dressing, because we do follow a lot of the tropes and the feelings and vibes that those genres try to put forward, but we are doing our own thing. Um, a common comment, and one of my favorites, is that I used a shotgun when I should have used a sniper rifle with the themes, but I hit the target
Oh,
anyway, because it's
that's
a
funny.
philosophical exploration, weird space western, science fiction, fantasy tale. Really, the universe has a lot of those factors in it, and to pigeonhole it isn't quite there. But Diamond wants you to just use two genres, and so the two I tend to do is dystopian science fiction. But it's It's a lot of things. Best way, if you folks are unsure, also, we do have issue number 1 in black and white up on Tapastic, Tapas, Jack Iron Steel Cowboy. Just Google that; it'll come right up. You can read it for free. Issue number 1 in black and white. And that'll also give you. It's a great introduction, and it gets you right in the world, and it looks great in black and white too. Maxie's lines stand for themselves, and we're just privileged to find colorists who can make them even that much better. But and if you like that and you want the colors, you can get it digitally on Comixology and a few other places too. We've got you covered if you want Jack.
And you can even get it from the campaign as well. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can get 1 and 2 with exclusive variant covers. At least one by Frank Martin Jr. I actually have that, the line art for that. It came out really cool. I'm excited to see what he can do with it. And as soon as that's done, it'll be going up on the campaign. I actually put out a campaign update, the first one today as well, which I guess I can look at that, and then we'll have some good bullet points I can talk about. But mainly that's one of them, is that the line arts from for the variant cover for issue number 1 is in, and it looks killer. I have 2 small previews of it on the campaign page, so when we get to there, folks can kind of see a sliver. I call it a sliver preview, a sliver of it, and maybe that'll get them on board. They'll get a better idea what the first issue's cover is going to look like. The variant anyway, the exclusive campaign variant. Soon enough, too, folks. If you're not 100% on board with the whole campaign thing, we're going to have publicly available number 1s and number 2s again here pretty dang soon through Wicked, and you just order a comic book like it really should be. And so that's another way too, if you like our original covers and you don't mind, and you're not all about that collecting, or you don't have the ability to support us at the levels we're asking, or you're impatient and don't want to wait the time that it might come out. There's a lot of ways to support us, and
Yeah,
if you want to, I want to make sure you can.
Now, we're entering into issue 3, so that's kind of a big deal. We have 2 issues behind us now, Jack. In the first issue, we're introduced to obviously the main character and a little bit about his history and backstory. In issue 2, to me, it's felt like we were introduced to a lot of the world building elements. What can you tell us about what issue 3 introduces us to?
How I line it up in the campaign and how I've kind of always had it in my head, at least with the first 3 issues, is the first issue we introduce you to his mind, so like you said, the character. Second issue we introduce you to his world, which is exactly what you said. And then the third one is his history. It's a little bit of what the Steel Cowboy is, and maybe some relationships he's had, in particular with this top predator. And we set him off on his real journey. By the end of issue 3, he's on his way to do something, and I'm hoping folks are kind of interested. We definitely do a lot of neat things with issue 3. Learned a lot, and it's a lot more high octane for a while, but it still sits back. It's going to have a little bit more relationship development between Jack and a few other characters who we've been introduced to, and a little bit more of the cultures that surround him as well. We touched that a little bit in issue 2 when he met the shaman and spoke to the sheriff. In issue 3, he's kind of eventually is in there, and there's a little bit of the Anu Confederation. You actually get to see the galactic government in motion on Earth, which we haven't seen yet, and what that means for the populace. And there's just a lot of neat stuff. There's some killer visuals on the way. We have the first 4 pages inked on the campaign page now, and you folks can go check those out. And it's really the first scene. It's the opening scene of the book from beginning to completion. The first scenes, that's 4 pages. It's a decent scene, and then we transfer from that scene to something else, and then come back to it. But we've been pushing some of the imagery for a while too, so folks will kind of recognize what's being set up and what's being done. In fact, with issue number 2, we released a pinup that has a scene directly from issue 3 in it, the tracker pinup, and you see that being set up at the end of that 4th page. It's an immortal man being hunted by a top predator, and I want folks to ask why. And by the end of the issue, maybe you're left with that question. Maybe you have an idea why. But we call Jack's bluff, see if he's really immortal, what the physicality means, and what that means for the world he lives in, the people who know him. And I'm just really, there's so many visuals. I can't wait to see Maxie's take on them. We already saw
it's
the,
really interesting.
yeah, in this opening scene, there's the punji spike scene. I've had in my head forever, and I finally got to see that. It came out great. The last panel when he's getting his foot stabbed, he actually had the pipe that he had earlier attached to his belt, and it's still smoking. It's just little tiny bits of things, personality that Maxie adds to it that really makes it worthwhile. And so I really want to see what he does with a couple of my goofball scenes. There's some fun scenes in this book.
It's funny. You gotta have a little bit of humor in there, right?
Oh, absolutely. I have to. Either it's dark and deadpan kind of Garth Ennis style humor, or it's no, I guess that's usually what I do. I can't think of like in issue 2. There's the alien card game that they don't even know what rules they're playing by, and somebody gets shot over that. Little things like that in the background while Jack's just drinking and telling a story and not giving 2 cares that somebody's getting possibly murdered behind him. Or they involved headshots mostly at issue 2, most of the jokes. But that's why it says for mature audiences right at the top of our campaign page. We don't we don't really involve ourselves in sex or that kind of bit, but there's going to be psychological horror, a little bit of body horror, and then there's gore and such, and just the facts of reality, and it's going to be placed pretty deadpan. We're not going to get probably much worse. We're not going to get anywhere to where Punisher Max did. We're going to be closer to what Garth did in Welcome Back, Frank, when they revived the Punisher after being canceled for a while, which was I mean he gets a he gets a mafioso a quadriplegic. No, she wasn't quadriplegic at that point, was she? But anyway, he feeds a mafia heiress. She's the head. Manucci feeds her to a polar bear. And there's some interesting visuals in that for a mainstream, Marvel book. So we're gonna go a little bit further than that. It's actually gonna have the blood and the gore, but language isn't gonna be a big one, except in very special cases. And I don't really see a few of the other angles like. Hellblazer and such will also use a lot of nudity for its psychological horror, or it'll use sex to do it too. I don't know if we'll get to that with Jack. It's not quite the energy. So when you're looking at it, I was asked this yesterday on a stream that what does that mature mean, and I don't know. I would think a well-rounded teenager, 15, 16, could handle our content just fine, but the mainstream would not believe that. That's where I put the mature on, so it's safe than sorry.
I think there's a difference between mature and adult necessarily as well,
exactly.
It's a little different. So but it brings a question in my mind, which is when you first start with Jack, to me it seems more like a teen story, where now it seems maybe a little more mature, like you're saying.
It's just the scenes. Yeah, it's really the scenes. The first opening book could be for anybody. That first one, the worst is at the beginning, where there is it doesn't. There's a head on a pike. There's a woman getting her throat slashed.
I believe. I think.
There's a few little things, but nothing like the gory headshot with the eyeballs flying in issue 2.
Right, yeah, that's pretty intense, man.
Or a few others. I think that's the 5-year difference, too. Maxie was 5 years younger. I think he was 21 when we were doing that. And so it took, till now or whatever. And with issue 2, it was about 5 years. So he had I'm sure his sensibilities changed a little bit.
I can see that, yeah.
Which worked for me too, because the scenes I was setting up weren't all wholesome either. So
yeah, very true. There's a lot of dark stuff in issue 2.
Yeah,
a lot of human suffering.
A lot of human suffering.
That's the Ironverse universe. It
is. It's a grim, dark universe with a cowboy hat on.
That's all on top right there.
I have a question about Tracker real quick. Do you expect him to be more accustomed to the world that he's in now, or because just from what we've seen in like screenshots and what we have been posting as well is more, it seems he's kind of a mesh of both the old world and the new world.
That's the difference. Jack really had trouble. I don't want to reveal too much about Tracker because that's a good chunk of issue 3 is dedicated to that relationship.
Yeah,
but a big difference between Jack and Tracker is the fact that Jack kind of always felt we could do better as a species, and he knew in the back of his mind with all the lives he lived and all the horrors and stuff. So he kind of raged against it in his own way as things were changing. Whereas Top Predator, he doesn't care. It's the environment. You adapt and survive and evolve. He didn't want to change anything. He just wants to be the baddest thing out there. And so if situation's getting worse, he doesn't care. Just makes his job a little bit, makes him stronger, gives him another chance to adapt and overcome and bigger things to kill. That's probably it probably made him happy. But
okay, I mean, that's a if you want to stop there, that's actually pretty good, because that gives to me, that gives me a pretty good sense of what to expect from him. In a sense, but
cool,
leaves a lot of that mystery of what he could actually be.
Like, what are his true motivations and whatnot, and yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I find the idea fascinating. You know, you have this little blurb on the top of your page, like, how can you be called the top predator if you do something you can't kill? And that's such an interesting idea.
That was my hook too, is that they have that dichotomy where, you know, it's an immortal. He cannot kill Jack, even if Jack's not a better fighter or whatever. He cannot hunt that. And so we bring up why he kind of disappeared and a few other things. We dive into the character. I'm really hoping it adds an extra layered Ironverse and we really want the world to feel like it's been lived in. You know, we don't want to have it feel like we're building it as it goes. It's more like you're dropped into this place and it's already been how it's been forever, and you're the newcomer. No guide or whatever. You're just here with Jack's the closest thing to a guide, I guess. He leads you through that and such. But it's going to be a fun ride, but it's going to be a rough ride. I hope people enjoy it and what we're going through. And issue 3 is Jack's worst day in a long time.
Damn.
And I hope people see that and appreciate how the stoicism and how he conducts himself prior, because of what he's always been through, is kind of impressive. It's a big part of his character, is that it's that character shines above his experiences and a lot of other things that are happening around him and such. And I'm hoping that's what makes a compelling, long-lived character. We'll see.
Well, I think a lot of that you've definitely done already in the first 2 issues, and it's coming across quite well. So I think you're on track there. Yeah. But, you know, it makes me think, with all the suffering that Jack goes through, what do you think he would say to you if he could meet you in the same room with you?
He's usually after distraction and new experience. So it would be whatever he noticed or was interested in that he believed he could get some kind of new information from. It can be something real simple, like he's never seen a type of I don't know, a new drink or a new cocktail he never heard of or something. It could be that.
Give him an airhead, man. He'll go wild. No, that's funny, man. Yeah,
but it would be something not so much Ironverse related, basically.
Interesting. That's fair, yeah. So you're offering some new perks this time around.
Yeah.
Kind of new things. Can you tell us about what's new to this go around?
Well, a lot of things are new, because last time it was a very unique campaign. For one, we're actually collecting mailing addresses through Indiegogo. Isn't that crazy? Thank you so much for everybody, Wicked especially, but every backer, everybody for flexing and helping us get it done through that very unorthodox method of campaigning. Besides that, I mean, we really set up the page a little bit nicer. But in terms of the perks, what's being offered new, besides charging for shipping, our first variant covers for Ironverse Comics. It's not the first ones we have attempted. That was actually with Cactus Coyote, but it is the first ones that are getting made. Are there exclusive for that campaign if it funds? Otherwise, of course, I will repurpose them maybe for another campaign, or they'll be used. They're getting made. And we are also offering the pinups from last campaign, but you have the ability to get all of them instead of just a random one. We are, let's see, the big perks I think are the main things that are different. Well, of course, issue 3, that's big new one. But the other two main things are secret perk backers are getting something unique, which I won't spoil. They got the mailing list, and I still want them to have the opportunity. There was only 100 of that secret perk, and they're not out yet. If we don't get them sold, I don't know, this week or next, then I will be releasing it publicly, and then I'll talk more about what comes in with that secret perk. But otherwise, there's the Steel, which is everything on offer, and a comic cover sized metal print from the Jack Irons catalog. I'm thinking it's going to be a new print if I can, or it might be a virgin version of this Frank Martin cover, depending on how good the colors are. Because if they'd look killer on metal, I'm going to do it. So you can get a big, nice metal print to put up, sturdy, and will look really cool. And then there's the Cowboy, which is me hand painting one of the amazing Model 316 Jack Irons models, figurines. And so those will also be available through Wicked for much cheaper for unpainted if you guys want them. But through the campaign, you'll be getting me to hand paint it for you the way you want, the best I can, which isn't too bad. I'll be posting painting samples closer to, I don't know, here soon enough. I've got a couple saved. I'll put them up when I feel it more appropriate. I sold one of the statues already, which is freaking awesome. A great longtime backer of myself and quite a few others around us. He went ahead and did that. So I'm looking forward to
That's
the
awesome,
more.
man.
The more the more figurines, statuettes, whatever you want to call them, that we can sell, the more practice I'll get. So I'm assuming by the last one, you'll actually be getting something really, really cool. But I'm going to take my time with all of them. And again, be posting painting samples. I'm pretty decent still. I'm
And
just
you
a little
painted miniatures before. It's not like you haven't.
Yeah.
You're not. It's not. You're not new to this. You know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'll be posting is some of the miniatures. In fact, these are bigger than the miniatures I've posted, so it'll allow
that's
me to
awesome.
do better detail and such. So that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing one of those in person for one, and then being able to lay some acrylics on it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, and you know the nice thing is, you know, like you said, you can get them on a store, but they're
Yeah.
going to be a little bit less of a custom thing because there's going to be a little bit of assembling possibly, and some they're not going to be painted, and so this is kind of a mere thing. So if you want a nice full finished product, like a full finished figure, you really want to get on this. And not only that, but
and it's a
really
personal
helps the
thank
campaign.
you.
Exactly.
I'll be writing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be writing a certificate of authenticity. I'm going to sign and such, and I'm unsure if I'm going to do a personal thank you letter each time. I think there's only 10 up for sale, so I could easily do that. I probably will. And it really is. It's just you really want to support Jack Irons, the Steel Cowboy, want to support Ironverse Comics, want to support Wicked Publishing, and you want to really have a very unique little gift from the creator himself. And I promise I'm going to put a lot of killer work into them. I enjoy what I do when I do that. And each one of those levels of support really makes a massive difference in us getting these books out. And it's even the painting and the figure would not be enough to express my gratitude for folks who are willing to go that far out on a limb for us. And it's the least I can do. And I'll only be doing 10 ever. So I'm hoping if you guys really believe in the Weird Space West, you can be investing in the Weird Space West.
Exactly.
And hopefully you can get something back in line.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a good way because you're not only getting something awesome and unique and, like you said, limited to only 10, but you're also putting your money into something that you love. And honestly, that money is going to help the comic come to life in a really big way because that will really help push them towards that goal. So I think it's a great way to get back, and as you said, for you to say thanks as well. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome, man. I hope more people take advantage of that.
Yeah, I'm surprised we got somebody so early on him. So I'm very hopeful.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Now I have the campaign pulled up here, so if you don't mind, I thought maybe we could take a look at the campaign page for a little bit.
Absolutely, thank you.
You're welcome, definitely. And so we have a fixed goal here of $10,000,
Yeah.
and we're at 25% right now, $2,548 with 22 days left, and I'm assuming probably a possible chance to extend if necessary. So obviously you're off to a great start. 25% is a really great way to get the campaign going. So you're on
Oh
a
yeah,
good
in the first two
track here.
weeks, it'll be two
Oh yeah,
weeks tomorrow at midnight, or 11:59, something like that.
very nice.
So that's not too bad. If we can keep up that pace, then I can fund, no question. I would like to exceed that pace so that we can start production quicker and get everything out faster. But that pace would be just fine too. Anyway, we get it done, I will be ecstatic.
Definitely, man. And so why don't we take a look here then as we scroll down? Obviously, you have a couple videos. People can go check those out on their own later and
Yep.
see what he has to say about all that. But I know he has a lot of great information on there as well, and some really cool images you can see. He's got tracker and some images from the comic, and even some inks here. So a lot of
Yeah,
cool
in
stuff to check on the
progress
page.
inks. Yeah. That full page is actually down at the bottom now. I was a little hasty posting the work in progress
Back
stuff.
door
But,
closed.
Sorry about that. I didn't expect the robot robot house to start yelling at me. So we have here the first perk. Obviously, this is your featured perk,
yes.
and this is the complete package. So what comes in the complete package?
So you get all of the digital, so 1, 2, and 3 digital. May or may not change the covers on 1 and 2 to the Patreon variants. It might be cool to do so, just so that some people have some unique digital files. That might be cool, and it's easy enough. You will also be getting 1, 2, and 3 physical. 1 and 2 will be those variant covers I'm talking about, and number 3 will be the cover that we'll stick with for the public printing by Maxi Dallo and Stephen Cannon and the whole Ironverse team. Zero Fox doing logos and Vince throwing on the credits.
Very nice.
As we do. And I think you get a 11x17 pinup, which will be a random pinup from one of our collection, or you can upgrade for, I believe, $10 and get all of them so that you don't have to worry about which one you're getting. And I think you get 1117 pinup. Oh, a sticker. You also get a sticker, which there's an image down at the bottom of what that sticker looks like. It was by Vincent Rush, our letterer, Matthias Laborde, the colors from issue number 1, and Zero Fox, a very talented logo guy. And I've actually bought the sticker a few times myself. I think I had like 20
Nice.
of them or something, and was giving them out to folks. And
Oh, that's cool.
it's a cool sticker. I'm hoping we can actually upgrade it to a holographic sticker. And so it'll look a little shiny and really pop all the metal, all the steel on the Steel Cowboy and the robot. But we'll see. I don't see why I couldn't. It just again, it's mainly about funding, and I don't think they were that much more expensive. But I'll be looking at that closer to time.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's awesome. So that's a great perk, and it even says there you can kind of get a bit of a discount there. You're getting 20% off. So
yeah, the issues. I really tried to calculate the issue prices. We sold issue 1 and 2 for about $12.50 a piece. If you're just looking at it like that, that's not really what you're doing with crowdfunding. You're not buying a product. You're investing in a creator and receiving a perk. That's why they use that term. But I still try to run it like a sales business because people expect that. That's what they're used to. But it is different, folks. But that difference is what allows these kind of unique projects to happen. And so that price there is based on a few different things. But the discount is pretty much where it's at. We're actually selling the 3 books for about the price we sold the 2 last time. And people have been jumping on it, and I really appreciate it. It means the world to us over here.
next up, we have a digital number 3 only. So this is our first digital tier. This is your basic way to back the book and get a digital comic, essentially. No
Yep.
issue 1 and 2, I take it, right? Just the number 3.
Yeah, just the number 3. We it'll probably go up again after it's funded and after everybody's gotten their books and such, like we did kind of last time. It'll probably go up for public, and then it'll be $3. But that extra $2 is to help us and to get it probably a month or 2 early. Could be more actually than that. But yeah, that's the basic way. If you backed digital last campaign, that's the way to do it. Or if you already bought issue number 1 on Comixology or whatever, and you want to snag 3 early, and you're waiting for issue 2 to go up, that's a good way to do it too. And just make sure all ducks in a row. And of course, snagging number 3 is how you get number 3 made. And so that's would be very helpful.
Right, yeah, you can't get number 3 later down the line if it doesn't happen. So better to make it happen now.
Exactly.
Then we got the complete digital package, so to speak.
So that's all 3 issues. You're getting $1 off the digital of number 3, and that $1 is helping us fund the Weird Space West.
Very nice, man. Very nice. And moving on, then we have our next physical perk here. This is our first non-featured physical perk, and this is the number 3 plus extras. So can you tell maybe what those extras are?
The extras are just like the bonus content that I include with the campaign bonuses. So the same things that people get in the complete package with the digital. So it'll be concept art and extra loose files, some music, maybe a couple short stories. We included the Cactus Coyote manga last time. At least the short 16-page preview version of it before it became a full 40-page little piece of work. But so little things like that is what the extras are. But you'll also be getting the sticker and the pinup with that too. So you'll be backing for physical. You'll get your physical number 3. You'll get your digital number 3. You'll get a sticker and a pinup. And that's mainly for folks who had backed us last campaign and aren't interested in the variants of number 1 and number 2.
Okay, very nice, man. That's great. And moving along here, we get up to the next one, which is our store bundle, and this one is the kind of a bulk package for comic book stores.
Yeah, it's 5 of each issue and 1 of each pinup. And yeah, we're giving comic stores the best deal I could possibly figure, so that they can actually sell and make a profit and get our books into hands of people who are not used to crowdfunding or who don't even care about that, but just want a good book, because that's what Jack is, and it's a very unique book. And if we can get it into stores, we can get passive eyeballs on it, and that would mean a lot to us. And so I also put out a while back, because somebody was actually advertising that store perk, which was really nice of them. They can contact you guys too at Wicked Publishing. I know you guys are looking into expanding into stores, and sometimes you got to go around distribution to do that, and contacting Wicked Publishing is a great way to get a bunch of great indie books into your stores. So please consider that really too, smart. If you're considering the store bundle. If you get that though and just want to test it with Jack, please do. I think we'll sell pretty quick. Nothing looks like the best of the Weird Space West.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you guys have a very iconic look, and not to steer off track here as we move into our next perk, but you actually just acquired another a great artist who also works in the Weird Space Western genre.
I did.
Yeah, can you tell us about
that? East of West, which is the title he colored. Through Diamond, it's called a dystopian sci-fi. So even they didn't want to put the Western on it, which was interesting.
That is interesting.
I found that on the back of the books. Yeah, it's just dystopian sci-fi. But no, Frank Martin Box, who's colored Absolute Carnage. Right now he's on Wolverine with Adam Kubert, which is crazy. He found our project, colored a panel just for funsies, and since he did that, I was like, well, he's interested in the art at least. Maybe I can get a hold of him, and spoke for a little bit, and somehow, thanks to going through the right channels and luck, Marvel let him do this. And so
wow, that's so
we've
cool.
got a Marvel exclusive colorist for our variant #1, a variant of issue #1, and
That's
I
pretty
can't wait to
amazing.
see his work on these lines.
Oh man.
My profile right now, my avatar pick, I guess it would be, is his work on Maxie's line. It was that pitch image, even though it probably wasn't meant to be a pitch image, and as soon as I cannot wait to share the full cover image with folks. That's done because Maxie really went out of his way, and it's a killer variant for issue #1. It looks so cool, and I just
Really?
can't wait to see Frank put his magic on it. But it could take a while. Again, reason and how we're able to do this is because it's other work he can do when he's taking a break from the more demanding scheduling work, and so
Right. That makes sense. That totally makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
yeah. No, Marvel deadlines are quite a bit different than Ironverse
Oh yeah.
deadlines.
Oh yeah.
So
It's a big difference there for most indie comics, really.
yeah. So my hope is it's done before the campaign closes, just so folks can really see it. But again, it's getting done no matter what, which was wonderful. But we'll see. I will be, if it's coming close to the end of the campaign, we'll be sharing the full line art. But we've got, again, a sliver preview of the line art from that variant cover down below that I just added, and it's below a real nice high-res pic of his work on Maxie's lines, and it's just incredible. I really can't wait to see what he does. He really gave the grit and rough scruff to Jack, and it just looks great.
That is really cool to hear, man. That's it's something that's I think is really exciting just to hear working with someone like that. I think it's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm really impressed, and I'm just blessed. And I guess he misses East of West is a good part of it. He keeps
That's
talking
too
about
funny.
Nick Dragotta, who was the line artist on that. Very cool guy, and I don't hear much about Jonathan Hickman about him talking, but that was the creator writer for East of West. But
Interesting.
Hickman's a really big name, and he's
Oh
actually
wow.
right now I think he's still steering the X-Men, so that might be part of it.
Okay. Yeah, that's
But
fair. So
yeah,
what's the
but
Steel,
anywho,
man? Tell us about the
yeah.
Steel.
Okay, so the Steel is everything on offer without the add-ons. The add-ons are there. There's a shirt add-on, which may or may not be the image there. I'm going to run a poll closer to completion, and we might even do a whole unique T-shirt design, again,
Interesting.
depending on funding. But everything on offer. So 1, 2, and 3 digital, physical, all the extras, the 11/17 pinup, the sticker, and then you'll be getting a comic book cover sized metal print.
Oh
And
man.
again, that could be the Frank Martin cover, Virgin, just the line art and colors, or it could be something new. I like playing it loose by the hip because it allows more time for cool things to happen. So I do know that you guys are getting one, and I do have good ideas of what it's going to be, and I know the prices and such, and it's going to be pretty cool. I
Dang.
definitely I want one. They look
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
amazing, dude. That's such a unique thing because I don't think I've ever seen metal prints before. I
Yeah,
can't wait
people
to see
wanted
that.
like I would love a chromium cover or something, but that seems like a nightmare because you also have to get it to the printing facility for binding and all of that. And I think the only places that do it now are in China, so that ain't happening now. So
Jeez, yeah, that's
so
intense.
yeah, so I thought, well, metal prints. Let's see. I've seen a few of the trading card sized ones in person, and they look awesome. And so it's just a bigger version of that. And I think that's going to be cool. And it's going to be durable. It's going to be lasting. And there is, I believe, I'm only offering 50. Yeah, so 50, and then plus the 10 because so 60. The Cowboy also offers the Steel.
Oh, okay, and I'm assuming that the Cowboy is the next perk up then.
Yes, the Cowboy is
Very
the
nice.
hand painted figure alongside a the Steel.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good deal right there. It's a steal deal, you might say. A Cowboy
That's my
steal
deal.
deal.
I was going for the puns, both of the
I like
puns.
it, man. I like it. Okay, I'm into puns myself, so I dig it.
Yeah.
And like you said, those are only exclusive, limited to 2, rather to 10.
Yep.
So definitely jump on that. One's taken now, but there are a number of spots left. So if you want a hand painted Jack Irons figurine, I believe it's about what 4 inches tall. Is that right?
Yeah. 4 inches tall. I believe it's 90 millimeters, and then there's going to be a couple other options on the Wicked store down the line, if I remember. Well, not a couple. One other option, if I remember right. A classic wargaming sized one.
Right. That one could come down
25
later.
millimeter. So it's about almost 4 times bigger than. So I guess those are about an inch than 25 millimeters. So
Probably,
there you go. Yeah. So
And
4 inches.
Right, and so that's a good size. You're gonna get, it's gonna have a good weight to it. It's gonna have a lot of nice detail on it, and so I think people can really enjoy that figurine.
I think so too. And I'm
And
going
of
to
course,
put a
we worked
lot of
with-
love and care into painting them because I enjoy painting. I enjoy Ironverse. I enjoy my backers, and I want them to be pleased. So you can guarantee you're going to be getting something well done.
And another nice thing about this, a couple of nice things I think about this perk as well here is one, we worked with Model 316, who's a really talented guy, and he's working with a lot of really cool indie people like Rags and President Thump, POTUS Thump, and a number of other really cool indies. I think Common America is on there now as well.
Yeah.
And so you're getting quality, for one thing. But another thing is these figures are already. We've been working for Model 316 already for a while, and so these figures are going to happen. So it's not a matter of is it going to happen or not? Do we have to get a certain amount? All 10 of them? No, you'll get your figures for sure.
You'll be getting your figures from the campaign for sure. And even if we don't fund, you can still get your figures, which, that's absolutely amazing. It's stoked. He did a beautiful job translating Jack into 3D and still giving it the right personality. He's more John Wayne than Clint Eastwood in terms of build in the statue, which is perfect when translating to 3D because it's just Maxie's line art, especially with 2 and on, is very stylized. I would like to see that stylization manifest in some kind of third dimension, but as a more realistic take, it's gorgeous. Like that is what a movie Jack would look like, and
totally.
It's a wonderful job. The pistols are from the Vince Rush pinup, which is great, and he actually made a big physical of that pistol a long time ago that was used as the basis for the 3D model of it, and it's just a lot of cool stuff with that model. And again, you guys are going to get it if you back it. It's a big expense, so the statue is a personal thank you, a very personal thank you, and I'll be making sure to do my damnedest on them, because I am charging for it. It's a lot of time to paint. It's a lot.
Oh yeah, it's not easy, man. It's a long process, that's for sure, and a lot of small detail too. So.
Yeah. And I'm unsure if I'm going to do the assembly line model or if I'm going to just do each individually. And that if I do assembly line, they'll come out less unique, but it'll be done faster.
Interesting.
So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, if I sell all 10, and folks aren't too particular, they want a Jack Iron standard colors on him painted, then I can do that easy and they'll be out faster. But honestly, again, it's a personal thank you. You guys are spending a lot, so I'm going to make it the best I can for you, and a lot of personal communication in that. So
are you still? I remember you mentioned possibly being allowed some custom color schemes. Are you still toying with that idea as well?
Exactly. That's what it's going to be. If folks want to do a custom color scheme, I'll be happy to at that price. If folks want the standard, then I can assembly line some of them with that, and then they'll be done.
Nice. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I'm sure some people want standard, and there could be a few who want variants, but I'm sure the standard one will be pretty popular. Just because of that's the classic look.
That would be my thought too, but I want to give them for that price. I want to give them the option. I'm going to be personally doing it anyway, so.
Right, might as well. Yeah, that definitely. And we see another image here of Tracker. That's a great one. And in fact, that's if you notice, eagle-eyed viewers may notice there that that's actually a weapon that he's shooting. It looks like a gun of some type.
It is, and it makes an appearance at the tail end of the 4 pages we have already done in issue 3. So that's a plot. Yes, Ironverse Comics seeds ideas before they come out as best we can. So I'm
that's awesome.
That pinup was a big one, and we actually completely different. Basically, the pinup ended up doing the design of the weapon more than what we were thinking, because it was supposed to be a more sniper rifle looking thing, but now it's this big automatic AI cannon.
Damn, it's so cool.
Yeah, you guys get to see that issue 3 if it gets funded. You get to see a silhouette, black silhouette of it right now if you want, but you don't get to see what it does just yet unless we get it funded.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I definitely love what you've got going on here. You've got some really cool perks and a lot of really interesting stuff, and of course, just the comic itself is awesome, and it's gonna be really fun. So here we see 1 and 2. These are the last of the first printings that you'll be getting, I believe.
Yep.
So a lot of excitement with that.
Yep.
And
1 and 2 will be
awesome
being
stuff,
reprinted, of course. If you like those covers and want them after you back the campaign for the variants, you'll still be able to get them. And there we go. There's Frank Martin's work on Maximiliano Dallo's lines, and
wow.
that little sliver there is part of the cover for.
Okay, so I see. Yeah, so we're seeing the initial panel he colored, and then some of the art for what he will be coloring soon.
Yes.
Very nice, man. That's gonna look amazing. Yeah, he did a really good job
show,
with Jack.
I'll show you guys after this the full page. I just the week's been nuts. I haven't been doing too much of that, but I do want to show you guys. It's really cool. Yeah, I think you guys will appreciate it.
I would love to see that, man. Yeah, that would be awesome. You know me, man. I love to see all the behind the scenes stuff. Give me my special. I'll take my special pages any day, man.
Well, Frank Martin had stipulated, make it easy, man. If it's too complicated, I just won't have time.
Oh, and no, really?
So what Maxie did to accommodate that is beautiful. I love working with this guy. For the covers, I never tell. Issue number 2, he had a hard time thinking of what he wanted to do, so I gave the idea of having the 4 horsemen in a kind of what you see, a kind of an amorphous blob force behind Jack. But besides that, really the covers have always been up to Maxie, and he just continuously knocks it out of the park. We always take the scenes from something that could have been happening in the book. So like a panel you missed, that's the cover. With Jack number 1, it's the end of the book at the beginning. He's walking outside the bar after the trouble. Issue number 2, it's right before he gets. It's after he picks up the girl, but before he gets to the truck. Issue number 3, we'll see. He does the covers after he does the full book, so that he gets a better idea of how to encapsulate that. And I think part of that's, again, we're just trying to go back to the old way of comic book covers actually depicting what you're getting.
Nice.
That was my hesitance for variant covers for a while too, was that that would change, particularly if I changed line artists, but somehow I didn't have to, and we still got something very cool happening for these first variants. So I'm excited. I'm really stoked. I can't wait to see what he does with those. With that cover, it's very cool.
No, that's awesome, man. Now, what can you tell us maybe a little bit about what we're going to see in terms of the action? Is it more ramped up than the last issue?
Oh, very, very much so. So issue 1, it's a lot of talking and then scenes, and there's some quote unquote action, but most of it's very definitive. Something's dead real quick. Issue 2, it was kind of like that, but it was more. There was a lot more passive movement. You saw the world kind of flowing by you instead of taking part. With issue 1, Jack, hits that robot at the end, and then that's done. That you took part in that. Well, it didn't flash by you. Issue 2, a lot of it flashes by, except for maybe the scene when he's in the Bronco being chased by cannibals. That's the high level action in issue 2. Issue 3, from the opening scene. Jack's getting hunted. So there's a lot of running. There's more conflict. After we get through this opening scene, there's more action too. I really wanted this one's more personal with Jack. We've gotten past the less personal bits. You've met him. You've been around him in his world. Now you can hang out with him and understand what we're doing. That's the hope. And with that. The action can speak a lot more than the words, is my hope. So there's a lot more of that. You can just see in the opening scene, I think that's more action than the previous 2 books combined.
Really?
Yeah, I think even just in those 4 pages, there's a lot more. I mean, Jack almost gets shot, and then there's a lot of running, a good amount of yelling, and then he falls in a hole, gets his foot stabbed, and pulls himself out of the hole, and then starts running again. And then a big totem falls from a helicopter, and then that's the end of the scene.
Oh, wow. Jesus. Sounds intense, man.
We're almost there. Folks will see it here in a second.
But no, I mean, obviously the art's just awesome, and always everything just looks just amazing here. Now, this is what you're describing here?
No, actually, that right there is the thumbnails for our second stretch goal, which allows us to put the 8-page mini of Tracker Top Predator, his own title, in the back of Steel Cowboy 3. It would be wordless, onomatopoeia, obviously, as you can see, but no dialogue, and just a hunt. You follow Tracker on a hunt. In fact, that hunt is mentioned in issue 3, so I'm going to be really sad if we don't get that far, because you get it mentioned in issue 3. It's not pivotal to anything. It's just Jack keeps his ear to the ground, and he had heard this has happened, and now he's putting it together with what's happening to him right now. And I would like to show that scene, because Vincent Rush is great. He's got a very Todd McFarlane kind of style, and I really want to see him depict the creature that's being hunted. And that's just the thumbnail for page 1 of that mini.
Awesome, man. That's
Is that what's left of Busch Gardens?
Poor Busch Gardens.
How many pages do you think this would be?
The mini is 8 pages.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting. Very nice, man. That's cool. That's good. That's pretty nice, man. So
Yeah, most of our first preview issues are about that. That's what we did. Cactus Coyote ended up being 10. That's what we ended up funding ourselves out of that last campaign. And so that's about 10 pages. Tracker's 8. Lady Silverado's 8. Golden Monk is 8. And those are just sitting away for funding. And those other names I'm mentioning come into play if somehow we funded like crazy. But got to fund like crazy. And first, I just want to fund.
And obviously, we see here there's a young girl Jack's helping in this issue. What's that about?
Well,
Obviously, without spoiling
he has an affinity for lost souls, because he himself is possibly the ultimate lost soul. And so when he finds something with any form of innocence in the hell that he tends to wander through, in issue 2 we see that it breaks him right the hell down, and he changes his mind from just wandering around drunk, shooting shit and drinking, to actually a goal to get this girl to the only safe place on earth, New Deadwood. And so he does that, and by the end of issue 3 that path leads him to a good place for Tracker to start leading him somewhere else. And she comes into play in issue 3. There's some there, but she will not come fully more into play till down the line. At the moment, it was just Jack showing compassion as he tends to do.
Really? Okay. Well, that's fair. Yeah, it's a nice moment to see kind of Jack. Despite everything Jack has been through, he still does have his humanity.
Yeah, that's a big part of these books is that trying to show the humanity through the horror with a lot of angles, so many angles.
No, that's I mean, and that's something that's interesting about your work, is that it really is layered. There's a lot going on in your work. Is it something that you really planned out a lot ahead of time, or is it something that all kind of just comes to you as you write the series?
It's kind of a mix of both. I play around in this world all the time in my head. It's unavoidable. But when it hits page, it's more of oh God, somebody was telling me a quote from the Game of Thrones author, the Fire and Ice author, or whatever it's called. He said some writers are gardeners and some are architects. I'm a gardener. I have a space and I kind of just grow stuff and let it move and act. But some people really do. They outline everything, and then they have outlines under their outlines, and then they act within that structure and build from there. And that's more of an architect style. So I'm more of an architect beforehand. I'm thinking and I'm building it, but then when I hit the page, I kind of let it grow and direct it like a gardener would. Vines crawling up a wall or whatever. If you want that, then you build the places for it to grow and grab onto, and that's kind of how I write.
That's pretty smart, man. Yeah, I can see why it really works well for you that way as well.
It only works well, I think, because I have a very clear vision of the universe of Ironverse.
No, that's awesome, man. That's really great.
Yeah.
But here we see some colors as well. Same page, but with colors now.
Yeah, that those pieces were just showing the process of what the pages look like as we're doing them, just to show folks. I think people can be interested in the process and want to see the parts.
Very nice, very nice. Now we're getting to the bottom of the campaign page here. The last few minutes here. And we see some black and white. That one looks so good, man.
So these are the first 4 pages of issue 3, getting colored right now, I believe, and so they'll be up. They'll be being updated as this week continues, I believe, and I can't wait to see Steve's take on these. It's going to be fun. He did a great job in issue 2 with the transition of time. And so if folks have been paying attention, Jack's been up for a very long time at this point. So it is a really long, really shitty day. He's been chased by cannibals, found a little girl next to her mom with a piece of rebar stuck in her head.
Oh, Jesus.
It was not what he expected when he woke up.
He's like the apocalyptic version of Jack Bauer. It's like he's got the worst 24 hours of his life happening right now.
Exactly, between issue 2 and issue 3. He gets some rest partway through issue 3, but it would not be the way he wants to get that rest.
But I just love this. I love how Tracker is silhouetted in black, I just love how it looks.
He blew me away with that first page, and then the second panel too, with the detail in the skull being brought out so much by that black outline. He's getting really good with ink, thick ink, and he does everything traditionally, so it's literal ink work.
Oof, I love that, man. That is beautiful. Yeah, that's really nice ink work. Yeah, especially for being hand done as well. That's very nice, man. He's a skilled artist, that is for sure.
Yeah. Privileged to work with.
Oh man, here's another great panel as well. Oof, this is beautiful stuff right here, man. Look at that. He's taking a shot at the dear old Jack here.
But the shaman's pipe warns him.
Oh snap! Oh, that's awesome. I love that. That's great, man. Yeah, these pages are looking really amazing, aren't they?
He really was. I was glad to hear. So the first 2 issues, I really had to kind of explain some things, and he was really stoked about certain scenes. This one, he's stoked about the whole book. So I think we're doing something really cool.
Yeah, man, that's so good. It's kind of like you said. The story is really starting to get underway now as we're getting into this issue. And
yeah, we're through the introductions and the hand holding, I think, at this point, and I'm gonna really kind of level that in with this issue. You're gonna have a reason to be interested in Jack and what he's about to go do in the remainder of the arc.
That's excellent. Yeah, and of course, you got your classic Ironverse decay in the background with the buildings collapsing, despite all this stuff going on in the forefront. So it's a lot of nice detail there.
Yeah, he does really that killer. I like how he did the trees too. It gives a lot of personality. You can tell it's up in the mountains where it's supposed to be, and yeah,
very clear. And you can even tell like it's far away from the city. Like the city is in the background, but it's not close by.
Exactly. You're supposed to be on the outskirts of New Deadwood, and that's where they are. He did a great job doing that. I barely have to describe anything, but he likes that genre a lot. He does a lot of cyberpunk and dystopian stuff, so it was a perfect match right away.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah. And
here's the start of the day getting real crap.
Jeez, dude, I love that tank over there too, just like chilling. Like a big tank, man. Very nice. Man, yeah, I can't wait. I'm even getting just excited looking at these pages, man. I'm really stoked for this. Man, look at that too. Look at the way he's done the action there too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, even his skill with motion is improved.
From issue 1, I don't think he did speed lines.
No, he didn't.
Like there was no reason in issue 1, but I don't even think he had that skill yet. And
No.
now with issue 2, he kind of introduced that a bit with the Bronco scene, and now he's doing it with a on foot chase.
It's really
And
cool.
he's doing it great.
Yeah, it looks so nice, dude.
I don't know how he does that with traditional inks. I really don't. He's gotta be crazy. I have no idea.
So skilled. Yeah, that is really good, man. It takes time, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, no question.
Oh yeah.
And then we see that totem being dropped. And that's hopefully a good little leave off point to intrigue people to get the rest of the issue.
And the helicopter in the background and shit. Oh man, that's a nice one. Yeah, I love that. Just the silhouette again, just a black silhouette. You know, it's the ink work is just on point right there.
Yeah, I want to see it because I'm always blown away by the lines, but when I see the finished page, it's I love making comics. I'll just say that.
So let's say Jack number 3 gets funded. What's the future for Jack Irons?
Well, we get that released hopefully way before the initial guesstimated release date of December. I really put it far out so that we have plenty of time to make mistakes. Just because last issue I guessed way too early. Now I have the experience and knowledge to we should deliver before December, but December is the worst case. Get you a Christmas package, but the idea then would be to move towards issue 4. If we're able to fund the Tracker Mini, that would be great. If we're able to fund the other minis, there's a lot of other angles for Ironverse Comics. But as far as Jack is, I would want to jump right into the next issue if I could, beginning of next year or towards the winter of this one, if we fund early enough and release early enough, which both things are very, very possible and gonna happen if we fund.
That's it. That's the key right there. We got to get this thing funded so we can make all this happen. That's the dream, man.
Yeah, we have the talents, we have the skills, we've had the practice now. I have a wonderful publisher, if you guys don't know. And we've got what we need to get this done and get it in your hands in a great quality book. The books are just physically, they are quality books. The rest of it, the art and writing and such, is completely subjective, but the books themselves are extreme quality compared to basically any other crowdfunded book I've gotten. Wicked usually is like top tier.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I've gotten handmade books, which was kind of a neat possibility. I've gotten a few different versions, and I've been most impressed by what we've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And if you folks like what we're doing, this is the way to help us keep doing it for you and for ourselves. I really will. I'm going to keep this going, however, but this is the path that's before me. So this is where we're leaning all our energy, and this is the best place to make it all happen.
Very nice, man. And as we say, we've been mentioning earlier, you got a lot of great perks and a lot of really great stuff on offer. And just the comic itself is amazing. And you've done a great job of drawing people into your world and your story with your characters. So, I'm so excited for this. I think you guys are going to make it personally. I think you're on track here to success. And I can't wait to see, number 3 and beyond, because I know you have a lot planned for the series. And for
oh man, so much. If I can just finish that first arc and get that done, I think we'll have plenty of footing to tell all kinds of stories with all kinds of wonderful creators and talents.
Oh my god, and many worlds and just so many ideas.
Yep. That's the big one too, is it's different worlds. Same universe, different worlds. There's a lot going on. I think the next step would be maybe to try Cactus Coyote again.
I would love that, man.
But we'll see. We'll see. Right now, I think what we'll end up doing is maybe working on the manga again. So we're releasing another second volume of that, continuing what we started there, just to get people more invested in those shenanigans. It's a different book with a very similar heart. He's written so much. I've read 400 pages of Cactus Coyote. Nobody has seen them. It bugs the hell out of me because it's a classic anime story. It's got so much heart and he knows how to do this shit. A lot of the improvements with two the tweaks and some of the a good chunk of the improvements with issue 3 will probably be because of a good amount of support and guidance from an experienced writer. And yeah, you guys are missing out if you don't check out Cactus Coyote on Tapas, the free manga, and don't consider supporting other Ironverse stuff. But for now, Jack is our best foot in the door. Is an absolutely wonderful and fun experience. Is a deep experience, and may not be for absolutely everyone, but the art and such certainly could be. So give it a look, folks. Give it a look if you haven't already. If you have, you backed it too. Thank you so very much. Tell a friend, please. And we'll get this done and get the best of the Weird Space West into your hands and continue putting the frontier back into the final frontier.
Very nice, man. And here's, so we have another panel here with the one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah, I kind of showed that one to show Maxie's. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. I couldn't find the exact picture he inked over, but that's what that is. It was an actual UN assembly that he did to help with that page, and it just came out with so much personality.
No, I know. I love that. It's exactly what I thought of when I saw that, and it just kind of really emphasizes the fact that these are kind of like all powerful, all ruling beings.
Yeah, and Stephen Cannon actually put that sickly yellow glow. It really does. It permeates everything. It's starting to permeate and touch the crowd and everything. It was just, but the art team for Jack Irons is extreme talents, and they deserve more work. And I like what they do with my stuff. So if you guys want to keep seeing that version of it, that's why we're here. So check it out. Spread the word. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's not dark yet. All right. But yeah, we have a bit. That's another genre. We have a little bit of historical fiction in Ironverse as well.
But yeah, no,
it's alt history, of course. I try to make that abundantly clear.
Just wanted to say real quick, Adam Post will be putting the link out in just a second, in a few minutes. Just wanted to wrap up here with the images here. But as I was just saying, I just get lost in the art. You know, it's sometimes you start looking at it, you almost get lost in it, how detailed it is. You know what I mean?
No, colored, uncolored. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how we connected, but we're here and we want to bring you folks the best work we can.
And just that's the last part here. This nice little send off to the creators there, Maxie and Steve, and just everyone on the team. Everyone's done just an incredible job, including Cody as the creator. You know.
Oh, I love that credit page. We're doing another credit page for 3. I made sure to work that into the contract because I forgot to do that last time, and we had to do it extra. But very happy to do it. That's actually Stephen Cannon coloring the artist for Cactus Coyote, Andre Moscolo's
really? Okay.
And that's a possible pinup offering as well. This campaign, I have been offered it. If folks are interested, that might be included because we already have a Cactus Coyote pinup on offer. So a second one might not be a bad idea if people like it.
Thanks, man. Well, that's awesome. Like, as I was saying, the campaign looks really great. And just to reiterate, at the top of the page here, we have $10,000 as the goal, and we're currently sitting at 2,548 at 25% with 22 days left to go. So anything you guys can do to help out, if you guys like what you've been seeing, if it's something that's piqued your interest, please check it out. I'm going to post a link here in the chat so you guys can check it out, and it'll also be up on the screen for anyone interested as well. And so we'll be going for another 22 days. And so, yeah, definitely don't wait on this one because it's got a lot of really cool perks, I think.
And I'm thinking of starting up a referral contest as well, folks. So if you back us, make sure you, and you're sharing the link, make sure you share from Indiegogo, and you'll be in the contest at the end of the campaign, particularly if we fund. The winner will be receiving the Steel for free. So I'm hoping that's enough incentive too to maybe get some extra marketing butts in the seats and moving something for the Weird Space West so that we can get it done.
Very nice, man. And obviously, people are stoked out in the post and chat says nice looking art. Congrats, guys.
Oh, thank you
He's
so
right,
much.
man. Yeah, he's definitely right. The art is just that's one of the things that it's not just the story and the world you're building, but it's the art. It's everything. It's the writing, the lettering, the art. The it's just you guys have just everything that's coming together to make this amazing work. I think that's why so many people are connecting with it. It's just
I hope so.
neat, you know.
Yeah, I don't think it's all just. Well, I can't come up with it. I had a rough outline of a joke comment. It's gone. It's gone. It's dead. I killed it. It's buried.
One day, it'll have like a brick falling from the sky.
Yeah.
But no, this has been a great time. I think we're pretty much at the end of our time here. We're wrapping up here. But what can you tell us maybe about anything you'd like to say to your fans or someone who's thinking about backing your book today?
Well, first off, anybody who's considering it, thank you so very much. It's hard out there. There's a glut of content, and that you choose to even spend some of your irreplaceable time looking at what we have on offer is extremely humbling, and I really appreciate it. And honestly, this is what one of the things I believe I'm here for. I really want to continue to put forward these stories. I try to write outside of Ironverse Comics. It just does not happen. I can't really say why. I don't know, but it could be a safety thing. But I think it's because I want to keep building this, and there's so many tales and angles and such to our world that it could fill quite a few books, and we really want to make those books for you. So. If you guys are interested, we're here. The quality's there. We have a reputation of delivering. We have wonderful partners in our expeditions here, and it's a safe bet. It's a safe bet.
No, that's awesome.
Door closed.
Sorry, I have some technical difficulties on my end here.
It's all good. It's just
no. I mean, everything sounds good from what I'm hearing. I'm just trying to digest it all because it seems like not a lot of changes, but like a lot of, I would say, a lot more expansion into what's going on in the creation of everything.
Yeah, I mean, learned more and connected with more folks, and there's a lot we have to offer people if they want to continue supporting us, and we can only get bigger and better the more support we have and the more enthusiasm. And each one of you folks who considers lending your energy to that really will make a massive difference in making all this happen.
That's awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you sitting down to talk with us today, and please do back his book. Again, I'll put the link up there on the screen for you guys. But as we've been talking today, it's just a great series, and Cody is super passionate about what he does, and this is something that he absolutely loves and he puts his whole heart into. And so I really hope that you guys will listen to him and check out what he's got on display, and maybe see if there's something you might want to pick up in one of his perks, and maybe we'll get this thing going, man. Because as I said earlier, there's a big future for Ironverse Comics. It's not just Jack Irons, which has a ton of amazing stories on the way, but there's other characters too as well. There's Tracker. There's tons of other characters, Cactus Coyote, Golden Monk. So the way to make those happen is to fund this book and to help continue Ironverse Comics to grow. So I'm very excited for your future, and I'm very hopeful as well.
I'm thinking so too. Wonderful fans, amazing fan art. That's another thing. We are including the fan art gallery again in issue 3. I think we're going to be alternating fan art and concept as we release, just so folks get a nice mix. And just honestly, I'm always humbled by the amount of support, patience, engagement, everything that we've been able to experience since this project has launched. And I can't wait for more.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again, guys. I appreciate everyone in the chat who joined us today. And go back to the book today, guys, and we'll get this thing done. And thank you, Cody, for sitting with us and talking with us, man. It was awesome to hear a little bit of your insight on issue 3 and what you got going on.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, and as I keep saying, I appreciate the support, and couldn't have done it without you folks, and I can't do it without the folks listening either. So thank you all so very, very much.
Awesome, guys. Well, we'll see you guys next time on another episode of Campaign Countdown. And everyone have a great night. Thanks, guys, for joining us.